There's a performance enhancer no one ever tests for, and you have access to it every single day of your life. It's actually quite insane how much this can transform someone's athleticism, but also recovery. And if you do it enough, it'll literally feel like you're on steroids, that you're progressing very quickly, your injuries will go down, and you will just feel more alive every single day, almost like you're taking TRT, like you're taking testosterone. And what is that? That is sleep. And you're probably thinking, oh no, these guys are going to rant about sleep. Yes, we are going to rant about sleep because not nearly enough people get enough of it, and not nearly enough people realize how much of a literal legal steroid it is if you sleep enough, and how much it can shape and transform your outcomes as an athlete. It's unbelievable. Like it's not an exaggeration. If you're undersleeping even a little bit now, it'll change your life in every aspect. So, Tom, what are your thoughts on sleep and experiences with sleep, and how much has it absolutely transformed your athleticism and just your day to day life?
So, first of all, what percent of people would you say get enough sleep in our space, in the athletic world?
Pretty low,
I honestly say 10% of people get enough sleep. Would that be too low, too high?
because athletes, they need to be on the upper echelon of sleep hours generally, because
Literally, bro.
you're stressing your body more. So if you stress your body more, it's got to recover from more. Where does
Mm,
that happen? When you're in your bed, sleeping.
yeah.
So I would say, yeah, it's definitely around 10%. And time and time again, the amount of people that undersleep that we have to help them with getting that on track, that we train, yeah, it's insane. As soon as we fix it for them too, like it's insane
Yeah.
how much faster they progress. Like, who's a
Feel
few
better.
examples of it, like that you can think of on the top of your head, Tom? So if you guys want to find out why your vertical is stuck right now, the exact reason why it's stuck, and how to fix it, clear guidelines on how to fix it, there's a link down below to where you can do that for free. And we hope that helps you out. But back to the podcast.
Sick. Nice. I mean, I was a pretty big example back in the day, to be honest. Like, I used to think that, you know, 6 was enough, 6 hours of sleep was enough. And, oh, I'll just push through, I'll sleep later, da da da. But, I mean, you definitely can get away with it a lot more when you're younger. But if you're just trying to optimize everything, regardless of age, like Austin said, sleep is literally going to allow you to train harder, cover harder. It's going to increase your testosterone. So you look at the benefits of sleep on paper, it's pretty much the same benefits as doing steroids. So if you're not optimizing that, it doesn't matter what outside recovery modalities that you're doing, it doesn't matter what and how good your program is, how good you periodize it. You're just going to not get the same amount of gains as you would if you were sleeping correctly and enough.
No. Like, how many times have you been asked, Tom, what massage gun should I use? Should I go in the sauna or not? Should I do ice baths? How many times have you been asked that? And then how many times have you asked, how long are you sleeping? And it's been
Too
way
many.
under.
Literally, like this week, at least like 4 or 5 times, just from 4 or 5 different people. And yeah, if you're gonna spend $200 on a recovery gun, I'd literally rather you buy a $200 like super comfy pillow, so you can just get like the most ideal sleep at night. Because it's literally gonna give you more dividends for what you're getting. But yeah, I mean, it's very easy to get caught up in all the gimmicks and all the latest things like red light therapy. And I mean, some of these things don't even have that much research backing them up. So why would you bother with what might be a 1% thing, might be 1%. Or you can just do something that's being studied for literally centuries, right? Like it seems very obvious.
And even when there is studies backing those things, it's very often funded by the company itself,
Yeah, definitely got to look at that. Look on the paper who actually wrote it.
which is a bit, yeah,
Yeah, sus.
sure, bro. Yeah, we believe you.
Or they'll word it in a way that makes it sound better than it actually might be. Like you've got to be very careful with these things.
Yeah. Like one guy out of the 30 they did the testing on, improved by 50%. Oh, yeah.
Up to
Increased recovery by
50%
50.
recovery. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But you touched on the point with training. Like, people don't realize if you're undersleeping consistently, you literally cannot handle as much training volume. Like, you literally cannot. But you have to like train less hard because your body cannot recover from the that's that hard level of training. Like, you can't. So then you have to do less. Otherwise, you can literally run into an injury or plateau. So you have to do less. And then what happens if you have to do less training volume because you're not sleeping enough?
get
Well,
as
you don't progress.
good.
You don't get as good nearly as fast. You can't progress as fast. And you just end up digging yourself into a huge fatigue hole because your body is just not recovering as fast. So you build up fatigue more quickly. Fatigue, the neural fatigue, sometimes local as well in the muscles if they're not recovering fast enough. It builds up over time and accumulates to the point to where you end up worse than you were before, and you end up plateaued and not progressing, and then you're wondering what is happening. Why am I getting anywhere? Why am I spinning my wheels? Why does my body always ache in this spot? Or why am I always getting these little injuries? That's why. Your body's not healing it properly. You're not giving it the time to heal in the bed. And that's where going from even just 6 hours to 8 hours sleep a night, it can transform your results. And it can be the difference between you adding a few inches to your vertical that month versus being down a few inches because you're just not recovered enough. Because
Yeah, yeah.
it's literally like, and then when we said at the start of this podcast to where it's like a performance enhancer no one tests for, like it's literally like literally if you go from like 6 hours to 8 to 9 hours as an athlete, it'll literally feel like you're taking like fucking some sort of performance enhancing drugs by just doing that. It's that crazy because also your
Yeah.
testosterone will shoot up from that extra sleep too. So you're literally raising your hormone level like a steroid would from just sleeping enough.
But yeah, the other way is your testosterone actually will lower. When you start going under like 7, 6 hours, right, you're gonna feel terrible. Yeah, your testosterone is gonna be in the bin. And what I was gonna say before is I'd say that bridge or that gap between getting 6 hours of sleep to getting 8, that 2-hour increase is probably the biggest increase that you'll get. Like that's when you'll really notice. You know, if you're a guy who chronically goes 5 or 6 hours every night, you start going 7, 8 hours every night, bro, that will completely change how you feel every single day, how your joints feel, your mood, again, your testosterone, your sex drive will probably be higher. And then, you can go like 8, 9, 9, 10. That's just a cherry on top. If you're pushing it, in the gym every single day, you're pushing performance to be, an absolutely insane athlete. Obviously, go and try and do that, but getting that baseline, 8 hours, make sure it's a quality 8, of course. That's going to give you the best bang for your buck.
No, you touched on sex drive. Like, it's mostly guys that listen to this podcast. So if you like waking up with a hard on every morning, then fucking get your sleep.
You
Get your
should be,
sleep.
actually. You should be.
And if you're not, then that's an issue. You need to get that checked out or sleep more.
Bro, yeah, we've literally known guys, and I'm gonna like not just sleep, but like just in terms of like lifestyle factors. We've known guys who've had their testosterone checked, right, and it's like chronically low. They've gone and changed their lifestyle factors. Stopped drinking, started eating correct, started sleeping well, and whoa, what would you believe that their testosterone's gone back to a regular level for a man? And like they wake up the morning with a hard on, and they didn't have to go on TRT. They didn't have to do anything crazy. They just literally fixed their lifestyle factors and actually acted like humans should be acting. We're not meant to be getting 5 hours of sleep at night, drinking alcohol, eating all this processed stuff. Like, we're not made to do that. No wonder you feel shit when you do those things.
There was a time in 2021 where I was chronically undersleeping, and it wasn't because I was trying to. I was just going through some like mental stuff that I wasn't aware of that was inhibiting my sleep, and I couldn't work out why it was happening and all that. But regardless of why it happened, I was still undersleeping. And within a year, like I definitely progressed the slowest I ever did. Like
Interesting.
I didn't really progress that much, and I was more injured than I ever was as well. That was the year I hurt my meniscus, I hurt my
Meniscus, yeah.
Achilles. Everything was going to shit.
Facts.
Everything was going to shit, and I just felt terrible all the time as well. And as soon as I started to implement strategies to really get on top of my sleep, like sleeping in a cool room, a cooler environment, making sure the room is more dark, and inhibiting blue light before sleep, all this sort of stuff. And my sleep improved. Like there was a correlation between that and me progressing way faster. And then the year after, so that was in 2021. In 2022, that was the most my vertical, I would say,
A
improved.
big year for you, for sure.
Like, yeah, I don't know the exact amount of inches I added, but somewhere between 6 and 8, something like that. Something around that sort of ballpark. Like it increased quite dramatically. And now, obviously, there was other factors at play, like having better training, all that. But without a doubt, one of the like biggest contributing factors was just sleeping more so that I could train harder and handle more training. And I was getting injured. No, I wasn't getting injured. Like, and I felt better. My testosterone was higher, so I had more energy to give in my training sessions too because my testosterone was higher. I was a little bit more like had a bit more oomph when I went to go squat and everything like that, and everything just improved, like in my life as well. Like even relationships, I was less irritable and could handle stress better, like mental stress too. not only physical stress but mental stress. I was happier in the day to day too, and because of that, relationships were better. Everything was just way better just from fixing that. And if you're someone that's undersleeping now, then those are some things you can implement. You know, probably all stuff you've heard before, but just fucking do it. Go do it. You're gonna change your life by doing it.
That's a good point, actually, because I've talked about this briefly with some of my mates that I go to my gym, and this kind of relates to the sleeping thing, but like mainly to testosterone. Like, if your testosterone is not in check and you are, you have low testosterone, it's like under the levels that it should be. You can see this in everyday life in someone who may have low testosterone. Just in terms of the way they move, in terms of the way they talk to themselves in the gym, and then you look at the guys with high testosterone, and it's like a completely different dynamic. Even, yeah, like you said, in life, your whole, life success, I would argue, is vastly determined by your testosterone level because, it's behind your drive, it's behind your intensity, how motivated you're going to be towards doing something. But just in terms of this, the energy that you give off, if you have low testosterone, you're just going to be a low energy guy. And you're more than likely, or you're less likely to be successful than the guy with high testosterone. Like, look at all the most successful athletes in the world. Obviously, they have high testosterone, but even in terms of just like entrepreneurs, CEOs, all that, I guarantee you they have higher than regular testosterone.
Like you literally, from sleeping more and from the testosterone increase, you literally like believe in yourself more. You literally start to believe. That's been my experience anyway. You literally start to believe in yourself that you can actually achieve these things. Like you doubt
That's
yourself
facts,
far
yeah.
less, and just that mindset shift from sleeping more transforms the outcomes because whatever you're thinking in your head and whatever you truly believe deep down, that's normally the outcome that happens in your life. So if you're constantly doubting yourself because you're not sleeping enough, you have low testosterone, so you're probably not going to reach your goals. If you believe in yourself, you have true drive and motivation and intent towards it because you know you can do it, you believe you can do it, you can see it happening, you have that inner confidence. Guess what? You're 20x more likely to achieve that goal. And we've seen that with our athletes as soon as they start sleeping more. Literally seen that. Like,
I got a guy in
I
mind.
don't really want to, I probably don't want to mention names, but
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
uh, who's someone you're thinking of right now? You don't have to mention their name, but just say ex athlete.
He's one of our real life mates, and he was the guy I was referring to earlier with low testosterone, and the way he would act before he got it checked, and then after he got it higher, completely different. His confidence, the way he just held himself, wherever he was, completely different.
Like, what happened though? What happened in his life? What did he do better?
Well, he was just a guy who slept more. He was the guy who changed his diet. He stopped, not he wasn't abusing alcohol, but he was drinking more than he was, and he had a goal in mind, which was, to get, a higher vertical with a byproduct of, looking better, looking more aesthetic, getting stronger. He had that, goal. And because he wanted to hit that goal, he tried to optimize everything around it. Again, which is the sleep, which is the nutrition, which is the cutting out the alcohol. And as a byproduct, testosterone went up. As a byproduct, all those things came to fruition.
So, like, when you say came to fruition, what actually happened? Did he
He
jump
achieved his
higher? Did he get
goals.
stronger? Like, what
He did
happened?
all those things, man.
How much did his strength go up? How much higher did he jump?
Can't I don't know the exact numbers, but I know his bench went up at least 40 kg, and he actually got lighter in body weight as well and got leaner. Like, he definitely he didn't have a beer gut, but he had a little bit of a gut, and then he had a, like, full on six pack benching 100 kg. So that's pretty cool.
That's insane. Um, I know who you're talking about as well, but we're not gonna name names.
I feel like a lot of people on this listening would know who we're talking about, but yeah, shout out him.
Okay, so what's like other things like in terms of what to end this podcast? What things had the biggest impact on recovery in terms of percentage that someone should be focusing on? The biggest, we'll say the top
Ooh,
three
okay.
things to end this
Wait,
podcast.
do I have to give that exact percentages, or can I just give like a ballpark?
Just a ballpark, man.
So, like, do I have to have the percentages add up to 100, or do I just say, like, maybe I'll give an importance out of 10? How about that? Okay. Sleep is number one, and that is a 10 out of 10. If you don't sleep, nothing else matters. That's where the gains are made. That's where your body heals itself, repairs itself. Again, non-negotiable. Two, diet. Again, you are kind of what you put into your body. In a sports car, you don't put in 91 unleaded. You put in 98, or, the super high quality fuel. You're a sports car, you're trying to have the highest performance, give yourself the right food. I'm going to go, like a 9 out of 10. You could probably afford to slip up here and there, but very important. And the third one, huh? What
Yeah.
are you going to say?
was gonna say one thing to add to that: the
Mm.
right food, but also enough food.
Enough food, yeah. Yeah, enough food or the right amount of food for you that's gonna allow you to get to your goal. So if you need to eat more because you feel tired all the time, you're under eating carbs, that's your goal. Your goal is to eat more carbs. If you're a guy who maybe needs to trim down a bit of body fat, well, you probably don't need to eat as many carbs as that guy, but you need to, make sure you're still in a deficit so you can, continue to drop your fat. And then the third one, are we just talking anything in the training world?
It's literally sleep, food, and hydration. They're
Oh,
the big
okay. I was
3.
gonna say load management, but maybe that can be number 4.
That's 4, big 4.
Yeah, the big 4. I mean, hydration,
Outside of
we
those
can
4
put under food,
things
diet. Yeah.
outside of those 4 things, nothing else fucking matters. Just perfect those 4 things, and you'll literally recover like a superhuman. When I'm doing those 4 things correctly, I feel like unbreakable, like superhuman.
Literally
Like, no exaggeration.
99% of yeah. And that's just the reality. You might not like it, 'cause you might feel good doing your contrast therapy whilst massaging at the same time, supersetted with red light therapy, but I mean, Austin said this the other day while I was texting him about it. He said, "You're probably more likely going to cause yourself more stress in your life trying to get to all these appointments and worry about all your little recovery modalities than actually recovering. So it's actually going to send you further back."
Facts. Facts.
Do with this information what you will, guys.
So, moral of this podcast: go fucking sleep, bro. Go to fucking sleep. Get off your phone.
Get off the game,
Get
bro.
off your phone and get your ass to bed and sleep. Like, yeah. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and we'll catch you in the next one.
See you guys.